Today, we're celebrating 2 years in podcasting. This special anniversary show features our top 5 downloaded episodes for 2021 to 2022. Join my family team and I as we share key takeaways from each episode. And now, listen in.
Welcome to Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. Growing awareness for your blog, podcast, book, or product involves more than dancing to reels and yelling, "Buy my thing." This show models quality over clamor so you can put your spin on your message and market in a way that feels authentic to you, because nobody wants to sound like an infomercial. And now, here's your host, Ruthie Gray.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our special podcast celebration. Here with me are my podcast engineer and virtual assistant. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Hey, everyone. I'm Haley. I'm Ruthie's virtual assistant, and I handle all things visual and scheduling for her. And we just have so much fun together. She really is as fun of a boss as she is an Instagram presence. So I love working with her.
I'm Nolan Gray. I am Ruthie's son, the only son, and I am the engineer and editor of this podcast.
And we are excited to share this with you. We've done some research. We're going to do the rundown now of the top 5 downloaded episodes. So strap in your seatbelt because it's going to go pretty fast. All right. So we're going to start with number 5, the 5th downloaded episode of the past year from June to June. Take it away.
So number 5 was episode 10. How to write newsletters they actually want to read. In this episode, you were talking all about what it means to target your ideal audience's pain points. You discussed the power of free writing and some really great simple writing tips for bloggers, authors, small business owners. And you talked about being consistent and honing your craft and how that's a really big key to writing unique newsletters that your audience will really want to look forward to opening.
Yes, I remember that episode. And I shared really 5 key points to get people reading. Haley just touched on some of those. And my favorite, though, is number 2, to craft a killer headline. It's so important because we have so many emails flooding our inboxes every single day that you catch the person's attention through that killer headline. And I gave 2 resources right there for helping you to craft that killer headline. So go listen to episode 10. What's next?
Number 4 was episode 8, 7 link in bio apps for driving traffic. This was all about your link in bio on Instagram. This was actually an episode with the 2 of us, me and Haley as well. So you can go back and listen to that one too. We talked about, first of all, how some people put their website directly in their bio, and like I did as well. But we also discussed the pros and cons of different link in bio apps like Linktree, Link in Bio by Later.com, and then Smart Bio by Tailwind, and then a few more. And so that was a really fun episode.
Yes. And since then, I have changed what I use in my own link in bio to the same as Nolan. Now that we have our new website, AuthenticOnlineMarketing.com, we have actual links from a page on that website so that we can just be driving traffic to that website. But that page has specific links on it. But there for a while, I tested Milkshake. And of those several that we shared, the 7, one of the favorite ones of mine was the Milkshake. So it's free. So go listen to that episode.
All right, let's talk about number 3. Number 3 was episode 11, 6 email providers for newsletter marketing. In this episode, you talked about various email automation providers like MailChimp, Mailerlight, GetResponse, Flowdesk, ActiveCampaign, and ConvertKit, which I think you've been using ConvertKit for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And each of those providers we talked about, we also featured a different testimonial for each from a business buddy of Ruthie's.
Yes. And 2 main questions to ask when selecting an email provider is, number 1, how easy is it to use? And number two, how much does it cost? Then I shared what I use is ConvertKit. I gave 3 reasons why, but I also want you to know that my number one choice for beginners is Mailerlight, and you'll learn more about why in that episode. What's next?
So the number 2 most downloaded episode was episode 9, Effective Newsletter Opt-ins for Email List Building. And this was the episode that featured author and teacher Sarah Geringer. You guys talked about utilizing printables and the freebies, trial and error, A/B testing for newsletters, promoting your opt-in on Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. All about the newsletters.
Yeah, and that was a well-received episode. And something that Sarah said was the difference between having an email list and just posting on social. You have a 2 to 3% return on Instagram posts, but email average open rate is 20 to 30%. So if you have 100 people on your list, do you want to talk to 2 or 3 or 20 to 30? If it's 1,000, do you want to talk to 20 to 30 or 200 to 300? So putting your heart and soul into an email list and then repurposing that onto social is really where we should be going from here. Sometimes we get it backwards, going to Instagram first. I thought that was a great point. So then, number 1 most downloaded episode for the past year is
episode 7. Episode 7 was How to Build Follower Growth with Sophie Hudson. In this episode, you talked about building on the experience you already have and using your stories and voice to build genuine rapport with your audience, which is something that Sophie does very well. You talked about keeping it real, being genuine, and not rushing the process, not rushing into exploding followers, but rather building quality relationships with them. And you talked about inviting follower conversations and promoting trust and what that looks like as a small business owner on Instagram.
And I have to say, Sophie she was really my dream podcast guest. That it was a dream of mine, bucket list, to have her on the show. So to have her early on in season 2 was such an honor. And we had such a fun conversation. She's just down to earth, real. And she has written many humorous books from life experiences. So check that out. Something that she said, though, about her most recent book, Stand All the Way Up, is that you're done with all of the things that don't really need to be done anymore. It's time to actually do the thing, because when you turn 50, which she is, and I am 50-ish, and a lot of our listeners are in their 50s or midlife, is that you learn that you just need to do the thing and start speaking your mind and doing what matters most and sloughing off the things that don't. And you learn to get some guts in this second half of life. So if you need an impetus for that or some tips on how to build follower trust, go listen to our number 1 top episode, episode 7. Yay! That was a great lineup. Yeah. Do either of you have anything more to share about any of these episodes that we talked about before we go?
I would just say I was kind of surprised to see the order of these, because I was thinking that the episodes that would have gotten the most listens were the ones all about like Instagram hacks and just like simple tips for Instagram and stuff. But really, it seems like what people wanted to hear about was building relationships. That's kind of one of the things that stuck out to me throughout all of these episodes. They're very audience relationship oriented.
Yeah, which is interesting because that is kind of where our head is too. That's something that is one of our mantras here is community grows opportunity. And not that you are creating these relational followers just for yourself. You're doing it to help them, but in the process, you're growing your business, your blog, your podcast, whatever. So I am also surprised at not only that, but it's about the newsletter building, and which we hadn't really talked about too much in the first year. What about you, Nolan? Anything stand out to you?
I just thought it was interesting how that 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 were all the top 5 episodes. So I don't know what that means, but I guess you got into a little sweet spot there.
We did. We really did. And it was also, the fall. I think a lot of people are ready to do new things. Maybe perhaps some people were ready to start building their email list. And that's something that I want to bring out to you guys to all of our listeners is to be watching, because we're going to re-release our special Authentic Online Marketing School, which is the marriage of Instagram foundational targeting for marketing your book, podcast, or blog or product with email marketing. We teach email marketing. I don't know if you knew that or not, but in the last year, we branched out to do that too, because that is one of my focuses that I truly believe in. And I see us even on our Instagram account broadening to talk about this more. So I'm excited to start our 3rd year in broadcasting. And so thank you all for being a part. Thank you, listeners, for coming alongside us, for sharing the show, for rating and reviewing it. We would love for you to share this show on Instagram, tag us. We will share and tag you back. And thank you so much, Haley and Nolan, for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. That was so fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was awesome.
And we'll see y'all next week.